The civil engineering shortcuts taken by ancient workers have already been covered in another video, with regard to the polygonal walls in Peru and pyramid construction in Egypt. More examples of engineers making life easy for themselves can be found with the production of obelisks. And once again, there is no need to invoke advanced ancient technology or assistance from aliens. This is the Aswan quarry in Upper Egypt, and home to not one, but two unfinished obelisks. Some fantastic theories have been proposed to explain what appear to be the many scoop marks found in this quarry, and it's even been suggested that the bedrock somehow had the consistency of ice cream when this work was done. As usual, the truth may be far more mundane. When choosing where to start quarrying an obelisk, the workers would dig test pits to inspect the quality of the underlying bedrock and then look for a natural fault, like a crack or a bedding plane. The idea being that if a natural weakness already existed, this would make the task of pulling the obelisk up and out of the ground that much easier, because it would negate the extremely difficult job of having to cut through underneath it. To speed up the process of getting down to this naturally weaker layer, it's possible that the ancient engineers employed a technique known as fire setting, which is where the area to be quarried is heated, then doused with cold water, which makes the rock crack and crumble. However, it's worth mentioning that, as you can actually see here, a softer area of the bedrock at the quarry can be ground away quite easily with a dolerite ball. And this is without using fire setting. Anyone correctly pointing out that there aren't that many trees in Egypt to provide all of the firewood for these very large civil engineering projects needs to remember that the climate of North Africa thousands of years ago may not have been as dry as it is today. A device like this may also have been employed, which works just like a battering ram, and is swung again and again into the bedrock to create the trench around the obelisk. And the mysterious scoop marks found all over the quarry are very likely the tool marks left behind by such a device, including those in vertical positions. The head of the ram could have then been detached from the frame and suspended over the trench, then again repeatedly swung into the bedrock, each time targeting the crack that was known to exist beneath the obelisk, which you can clearly see here. If the ancient engineers did use a device like a battering ram, this could also explain a couple of other things found in the trench around the second unfinished obelisk. First of all, these kinks in the scoop marks, which were probably produced when the ram was repositioned for another round of swings. And this puzzling feature, which may have been created by accident if the ram was suspended using a primitive metal chain rather than a rope or a leather strap, and began eating into a softer area of the bedrock with every swing. As the bedrock in this quarry is far from homogeneous, this softer area may not have been detected when the test pits were dug. And, along with the possibilities of a war, a famine, a disease, cancellation by a new ruler, or the cyclical catastrophic event mentioned in other videos, this feature may also explain why this obelisk was abandoned. This is the quarry at Baalbek in Lebanon, and once again home to more than one unfinished obelisk. The stone of the pregnant woman is well known, but there is a second obelisk in another area of the quarry in a very similar state of completion. The process of manufacturing these obelisks is almost identical to what's found in the Aswan quarry. The workers again dug test pits, looked for a natural fault in the bedding planes and then exploited it. This time with what appears to have been very large chisels or tools that resembled pickaxes. You can actually still see these bedding planes all around the surrounding quarry. As for the final movement of these obelisks to their destinations, there is plenty of footage, and even some very old black and white film of very large stones being moved from place to place using only primitive techniques. There are still individuals and channels making the same sensational claims about ancient stoneworking techniques. But if you're new to this subject, and start by acknowledging that engineers will always look for the simplest, least labour-intensive solution to any problem, you will likely end up far closer to the truth. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe to this channel.